All right, something a little bit new, and I know you're tired of hearing that on this channel. If you have been following me for a sec, you know that I created a second channel not that long ago. I think the video about creating a second channel is still up, even though I haven't uploaded to that second channel in ages. It was going to be the place where I post all about my entrepreneurial journey and all of that fun stuff. Again, I did not stick to that plan and didn't upload to that channel like hardly at all. So you can kind of consider that channel abandoned because I'm going to move some of that stuff over here. This is not going to become a startup channel. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to throw ads at you constantly. But I think it kind of belongs on the channel because this is all about problem solving. Most of the problems that we've been solving on this channel have been security problems, development problems. This is just a different problem set. Business is just a different set of problems, at least to me. I might learn that is the wrong way to look at it, but as of right now, I view it as a really interesting and obviously financially lucrative set of problems. And I'm going to kind of be breaking down my plans for solving those problems and then lessons learned when I do try to apply those solutions to the problems. So, as you'll see by the title on the video, this is going to be all about setting up a consultancy. So I'll go ahead and tell you I've cheated a little bit in that I've already set up the consultancy. You can go to the link in my description. It's secresearch, secresearch.io. And you can kind of, it's a templated site, going to be completely honest. It's got a contact page. It's got an about page with all of the services that I'm offering, things like that. But I'm going to break down the business model that I'm planning right here. So from what I understand, every good business starts with a problem or a problem set. The thing that I have noticed in my kind of research and talking to startup founders and kind of looking at different startups that have popped up over the years, startups have bad security. A lot of times they're focused on failing fast, which is an interesting motto from a security perspective because it can often lead to some just horrific, endings. But basically, their kind of perspective is let's get this, this product out in front of the market as soon as possible, and we're going to just start making money, and we'll fix the security stuff later, or we'll like even think about security later. Obviously, not a great idea. They don't have a big budget, and they often can't afford security or especially security engineering. Security engineering requires somebody who understands things about security and understands how to do engineering. That can be very, very expensive. Oftentimes, startups don't have the funds to pay for that, or they just kind of don't. They often don't have the data that they need to execute on objectives. So data collection can be expensive, data storage can be kind of expensive, data analysis can be extremely expensive in terms of like time and money spent on the problem. So there's our problem set. We've got essentially three different things that startups oftentimes don't have the time or the money or the like know-how to actually solve. So we've got security, we've got engineering, and we've got data collection, SEC. You're kind of seeing where I got it. So solutions and offerings, security consulting and engineering. So we're kind of wrapping that up into one sort of. So I'll obviously kind of be offering just generic engineering services to begin with, but I kind of hope to move into specializing specifically in security engineering. Obviously, security consulting is talking to them about how to approach security from their startup's perspective. Like, what is your threat model? What should you be worried about? And how do you fix some of the problems that you're already having? And then data collection services is all about what data do you need? Where does it live? Where can we store it? How can we store it? And how can we make it as easy as possible to analyze that data so that you can start executing on your objectives? Now, that is our service offering. Consultancies and kind of like freelance agencies are all about, in the very beginning, service offerings. Then they have to scale. So how am I going to make it scale? I'm going to gather data on what the startups need through my service offerings, create a SaaS offering or a few using funds from our services. So basically, as I'm making money by offering services, I'm reinvesting that money into the company in order to build SaaS offerings. We'll talk about what that's going to kind of look like here in a second. And then we're going to offer those SaaS solutions at scale for monthly subscriptions or longer term contracts. Okay, so SaaS. I'm going to make a full video on what SaaS is. If you're watching this and it's already out, I'll link to it in the top right. If not, just go on my channel and search for like what is a SaaS or whatever. SaaS is basically an online service that is fully automated, usually operates on a subscription model, and is offered, basically by monthly subscription, longer term contracts, things like that. And it is how you scale a service offering. So this bottom row right here is basically the abstraction that I've gathered from watching startups and working at startups over the last couple of years. You identify the problem set. Okay, that's obviously the beginning. One of the biggest, kind of hurdles that you have to face in the very beginning is you identify the problems. Then you offer services. Okay, so let's take a classic information security example. You've got a problem, incident response. So your problem is people got hacked. They need somebody to come in, clean it up, find out what happened. You offer a service. So your service is an incident response. You are going into these situations, finding out what happens, remediating the problem, and then reporting back. Then you scale that into a SaaS. So now I have an app that you can use to do some of or all of the incident response for you, tips, SOARs, things like that within the information security space. But all of this is an abstraction that can kind of show you how the business model can work. You identify the problems, you offer a service in a less scalable manner. So if I am one person, I can only do a couple of consulting engagements at a time, especially if I've got a full-time job that I'm doing as well. So I can't scale that very much until I scale it into a SaaS. Okay, so in brief, that is the kind of plan for this consulting company. I have already sort of started. I've got one client right now and another couple in the pipeline that I'm going to kind of work on. So you'll notice in the notes that I said I was going to build in public. I am not going to be forthright about who my clients are because they may not necessarily be comfortable with that. So if they so choose, then I will talk about them and give them, kind of a platform. But most of the time, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk in kind of generalities about my clients, and that should be a given. But I could picture some people getting pissy about that. But my main focus for uploads and things I actually talk about publicly is talking about pitfalls and lessons learned. So I don't think there's enough of this. A lot of people talk about I started a business at 15 and now I've got a Bugatti type stories, but they don't talk about the nitty gritty, how to do marketing, how to get your first couple of clients, how to work with clients, different issues in working with clients, how to fire clients, things like that. So that's going to be kind of what I focus on more on the channel. And then maybe someday I actually quit my day job and go work for myself full time. That has always been my ultimate goal. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, next year, and this decade, next decade, but we'll kind of see. That's the end goal of all of this. So I have no idea how these kinds of videos are going to do, but they're fairly easy to make. It's kind of just a wrap up of what my plans are, what I've done already, the different kind of pitfalls that I've had. If you enjoy this, I know it's a different kind of thing that, I don't necessarily have on my channel thus far. If you enjoy it, let me know, shoot me a comment about, different questions that you've got. But aside from that, take it easy. Peace.